Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel again. I'm gonna make another video. It's gonna be one of those like venting videos you want to say about it. Um, I don't know where to start, but it's not gonna be an extreme rant. But there's something I want to get off my chest. If you're a bus driver and you are rude, grumpy even, well, you're grumpy, but you take out as being rude, fuck you. Because that kind of disrespect rubs on somebody else, leave them a mark another day, and will disrupt. Literally, I don't know, but it will just disease their respect for bus drivers. Well, it's never happened to me, but yeah, you know what I mean. But it's a small incident, but I do not approve of it at all. And I didn't even thank him at the very end. He was a dickhead. Right. It's a small incident, but it really, really pisses me off. So, at the moment, usually I travel by train. I travel by railway. Um, but railways just seem much faster, more cheaper. Well, not cheaper, but they're faster and just more friendlier. They just seem more beneficial to the nation. Roads are more quicker; they can link everywhere. But railways are just much better for some reason or another. They're more interesting in this instance, and I think I can explain why later on why I prefer to travel on the railway because of twats like him. So on the railway, I usually travel by railway, but at the moment there's this kind of strike going on, and literally lots of trains have been cancelled. Nobody can travel by rail. It's an absolute bloody nuisance. Like I mean it. It's a bloody nuisance. Nobody can travel by rail, and it pisses me off. Like why are people? I mean, I understand why there's a strike going on, but it's like, why do you? Well, I think it's the government's fault. I mean, it's like, but it annoys me. But I had no choice. I had to go to somewhere today. I didn't go to college that much anymore, but I do go in occasionally. Today I was invited to do something which went really well. It was like a talk thingy, um and it went really perfectly. I'm really happy about it. But to get there, I had to get by bus because of these railway strikes, and it was a very, very massive pain. So I went down to my town centre where the bus stop was, and the usual happened. I was just waiting for the bus. Everybody was. I mean, it was crowded because it's summer, and I mean, I think it's because the railway strikes. People are using the buses at the time being. There's rail replacement services, but yeah, I decided to do the same and catch the bus. So there's lots of people at the entrance. It took some time before I can even board. Eventually, it was my turn. Fortunately, at the time I was very broke. At the beginning of the day, I only had £5 to my name. No, £4 to my name, and that wasn't enough. I was going for like 20 odd miles away or something like that. I don't know how long next it is from my hometown, but it's quite a long way when it's by bus, by traffic, roads, traffic, stopping even. So, yeah. Given how it was far away, I needed to pay because the further you go by bus, the more you need to pay. So I needed to pay some more cash, and I only had £3 or £4 to my name, and that wasn't enough. But fortunately, I had left over £20 in my bag, and this is where things get annoying. Right? Just why do bus drivers get butthurt when you give them a £20 note? The only issue you need to solve, you need to expand your expenditure thing, the change you have. And so it wasn't really my fault. It was not my fault I had £20 in it was the only thing I could find in my wallet that day. So this I don't know. I mean, I didn't know his name, but he was a sothead, and he was butthurt about it, just like all the other ones were. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, if I was a bus driver, I wouldn't give a shit. Like, it's. I think this should be said to all bus drivers. I'm going to say this at the end of the video, but I mean, I'll say this briefly, but to the ones that get butthurt, fuck off. And to this one as well, it's a shame I didn't catch his name, because I would have shamed him in this video. He deserved it, little prick. I mean, rude bus drivers are dickheads, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's over if I'm furious. It's just, it's hardly ever I get in these experiences, especially as an autistic person. Anyway, so, it's not my fault I had £20. It was not my fault that I had to pay such a large amount. And, like, this is where part it gets a bit controversial, right? Not extremely controversial, but you need to pay to go on the bus if you're going to ride. And that's what I usually do. I pay for the ticket to ride. And so I go on the bus and I say to him, look, I'm going to go to, well, the destination of this bus. This was where I was heading anyway. And so I only said, I was being honest. You know, I said, look, sorry, mate, I've already got a £20 note. I'm sorry. And I was being genuinely honest. It was the only thing I had. I mean, the rest of the currency I had wasn't enough. And he was like, I can't remember what he said, but I left it there for him to take it. Honestly, the usual thing. And he said, I'm not a bank, mate. Like, what? I just couldn't hear him at that point. I thought he was going to accept the change and give me the ticket. And I was like, he said, I'm not a bank. Sit down. I'm not a bank, sit down. That's probably the most rudest comment I've ever heard, especially from somebody who works in a bus company. Do you know how literally rude that is? That I'm not a bank thing. Of course you're not a bank, you fucking bastard. You're a bus driver. You're supposed to pay for fares, not run a bank. I paid that note for you to accept it. Not to give me change like you're a bank. You're not an ATM. You're an asshole who drives a bus, and that's your job. Fuck off! Anyway. So. The thing he told me to sit down was rude. Normally a bus driver would say, look, I'm sorry, I can't give you the change right now, you have to travel all the way through, just remember to bring extra change next time. That is the actual sentence an actual nice bus driver would say, but this little twat knows no fucking sense. He's grumpy, he's rude, he should retire. He looks old anyway, I'm hoping he'll retire. I'll celebrate the death of him if anything comes around. That's probably a bit too far, but I mean, he could be a different person, maybe he's having a bad day, but I don't bloody care. Anyway, the bus journey was not harmed by. I was deceiving by it. I was a little bit annoyed. It wasn't too much, but it was just the rudeness that caught me off guard. It was rude. It was not like anything I've seen in a while, not forever. I didn't experience these things, but if anything, I do get offended by it. And I was offended because it was poor service, and you shouldn't speak like that to people. Like, if you speak like that to people, you're a dickhead. I'm not rude to anybody. And you can see why I'm very nice to people. This is why, because if you're rude to someone, you're going to pull someone's heartstrings. And I've learned to some extent, pulling heartstrings can lead to death, if anything. And I do not want that happening to anybody. I don't want to be accountable for anybody's passing or departure. So no matter how far it goes, I don't want any of that to happen. But honestly, this man is probably going to be accountable for anybody's death. He's pulled another heartstring. He didn't pull mine, but if he does, I won't be surprised. He's a dick. Honestly, the amount of swearing I am just shows how angry I am. I know it's a little situation. Honestly, you'll all know how I hate these experiences. Yeah. I mean, the bus driver was great. I mean, it was okay. We stopped all the way. It was quite slow because of the traffic, but I enjoyed it. I was listening to the Smiths, I was happy. The kids were loud, but that didn't bother me. I was more excited about what's going to be happening this afternoon. See my old friends, going up to Exeter, which would be great, seeing people, and I think I was already in a good mood, but the music distracted me, and it was good. And I think it was around that point, the music got me distracted from the incident, which successfully did, because music can help your emotions. Nothing bothered me for the rest of the journey. It was just more about me contemplating about how excited I was, and I was, like I mentioned. But I think part of me did still feel offended, and because I was offended because I mean I explained this too many times, but I've never experienced it's kind of hardly I experience rude people, and I think I seem to find these more in bus services on the railway, because whenever I travel by train, it's not usually I find rude people. I know there was an incident back in like December a few years ago where this Max person who I used to be friends with. I mean, a revelation has happened recently, but I've yet to make a video about that, so stay tuned for that. At some point, that wasn't caused by anybody of like any services, but that was just one person, particularly my status, that was in the wrong for doing what they did. But in this instance, it's with people that work in companies should be ashamed. On the railway, I'm served by, whereas as an equivalent, I'm just served by, not I don't just go on a train. The train driver goes, "Hey, can I get money, please?" And you can pay for it. No, I get on there, and I pay for the ticket. I mean, the train guards are lovely people. I mean, there's a woman I remember a few months ago. I was wearing full makeup because I was going somewhere, and she complimented me for that. And she was a young, well, I don't know what they were, but they complimented me for it, and it was just really wholesome and lovely. I mean, the train people are wonderful people. They know what they're doing. The railways are a great place. That's why I love the railways so much. Great staff. I mean, I know there's always controversies with railways and the companies, and I mean, national. You know, I know that there are some railway service people, ombudsmen, women's, others that can be a bit rough around the edges. But I mean, a lot of them I've seen do their job very well, and I've never experienced any rudeness travelling by train before. Yeah, but with the bus thing, it just seemed kind of different. It's debatable which ones you're going to get. The majority of ones I've seen are a bit senile. That's a remark I'll say for the grumpy ones who are just plainly idiotic, if you know what I mean. But not all bus drivers are like that. I just know that there was the one I got on the last leg of the journey was very lovely. I mean, that was kind of what changed my head around. I was in a grumpy mood all day, but he was the one that changed my mind around. There was a lovely woman driver that took me back, and it was just wholesome. But yeah, I'm gonna get to the part where it ends. So, bus arrives. I mean, I knew at the point I probably had to change. I have to pay for the. I mean, I thought I was gonna pay for the journey at the end of it, but no. I ended up. I ended up paying for the. I didn't pay for the bus journey, which is bad. I wanted to, but that was the fault. He didn't pay for it. He should have paid for it. It's illegal not to pay for your journey. I mean, there's fines for that. I mean, he could have easily got fined for that, and it wouldn't be my fault, would it? Yeah, but but I was getting off, believing I would pay for it, but he wasn't at his seat when I was getting off. I mean, I just thought, oh, that's weird. Maybe I could put it down there. And I thought, nah, probably not. I mean, I probably would have just to show him, go, fuck yourself, here's my change, get over it. I will probably do that next time if he ever does appear. I mean, I probably will teach him sense, but I won't really get in trouble for that. Anyway, so, I mean, he was standing at the gates, posing like a twat. And, I mean, it was like... It annoyed me. It reminded me of what happened earlier, and it was just... It got on my tits. It got on my tits. And, I walked past him at bus stations, especially the one next to Exeter bus station. I think it's like all bus stations. So bus stations have road lanes and there's gates. So a gate opens, and I think the bus driver stands in front of it to let people out. He did that. So I was going through there into the terminal to walk out. I have to walk through the terminal. But when I was getting off the bus to get into the terminal, he looked at me. I mean, I scowled at him for a reason, just reasonably, and I scowled at him, and he said, I've used a lot of effort to forget about it, but I think he said, what was the thing he said? But it was something on the lines of, next time, remember your... I mean, it was something like that. Oh, I'm trying to remember what it was. Next time, bring me your change. It was on the lines of that, and it just made me cross. Like it, but although I wish I said it to him in the face, but I was worried I'd get in trouble. But I didn't. But I ignored him. I just glared at him. You know, he said, "Oh, remember your change next time," and he said that in a rude way. He wasn't being nice. He was saying that in a grumpy way, not very kind way. I ignored him, but when I was like, "All right," clearly in a very, ignorant way. I was trying to sound as rude as possible in return to him, so I can just make him even crosser. He doesn't deserve kindness, and that's the one thing. Give him shit to eat. Give him a shit sandwich. He'll enjoy it. That's what I basically did. I walked into the terminal where he couldn't hear. I was looking around, making sure he couldn't hear. He can hear. There was people there. So I was out of earshot, only a few miles away, only a few centimeters away from where I was standing, and I said, "Fuck off." I did. I said as loud as possible to get over to him. I just told him to fuck off. Well, I think, I mumbled to myself, and I think, because I said other things on, I said, I was like, no, I said, go fuck yourself. I said that when I was walking through the terminal, just by the gate, just when I walked a few inches from the gate to inside the terminal, I looked at him when he wasn't, he probably would have, but I looked at him, and a few meters away I said, go fuck yourself. As loud as I could, and to the point he would hear me, and I think he did. I don't even regret it. He deserved that. He was rude. All rude people deserve a comment like that. If you're rude, you do deserve to go fuck yourself. He deserved that. And he deserved that. But I mumbled to myself, angry. I was in a foul mood for the rest of the day. I won't go into detail for the rest. I won't go into detail for the rest of the day. But it was great. But I'm just only going to be venting about what this idiot was like. And I think, to be specific, I had every right to say that to him. I said GTFO to him. Because he deserved it. Normally, if there was ever a next time, if I could reverse back to time, I would have said it right in his face. And I would have swiftly made it out of the terminal. And I think that, I think it makes it even more satisfying when I didn't even say thank you. He didn't deserve a thank you if he was rude. I said that. If you're rude, there's consequences for everything. If you're nice, you get a thank you. If you're rude, you get that. Well, when I mean that, I mean what I said earlier. But, yeah, so it left me in a foul mood for the rest of the day. And I just imagined, I was contemplating about what the next thing I would say. I probably wouldn't in case I get in trouble, but I was imagining things what I'd say to him in case it happened again. There's one thing, related to that. If I ever saw him and he was like, next time, remember your change, rude, deviant, and disgusting way as possible, I say, you are getting something next time, and that change won't be given to you, that change will be given to your bloody arse. Fair and square. Just like that, and walk away, and he's going to be seething with that. I don't care if you're going to be angry with that mister, but you'll deserve that comment. Yeah, it'd be funny though, but rude people, I hate, overall, it was little. It was very, very little, but it really made me mad. And the reason it made me mad is because I'm not used to these experiences. I don't see these very commonly. And whenever these things happen, I find it infuriating. Because there are reasons why you should never be rude or that grumpy. Well, you can be grumpy. You're allowed to feel anything. But just don't take it out on other people. And the reason being is because you're going to make people like me angry. And when you're rude to people, you're literally dampering their day, and that was the day I was excited in. He's ruined it. For the smallest anyway, but he had no right to do that. No matter what condition he was in, he had no right to do that. But drive it, Mr. Idiot thing. I'll call you Mr. Cunt. If you're watching this, I don't know your name. Sorry, not for watching this, but I didn't know his name. But if I did, I would have mentioned it in the video. He did, because if it was a full name, you know, I'd have mentioned it. Made memes about him if I found a picture of him, you know, but it's like, probably wouldn't go that far, but I mean, but you should never be rude to public customers, and you should, even if there is no vacancy for a £20 note, just take it. You can't just let someone ride unpaid. That's illegal, and what he did was wrong. He should have taken it, kept that rudeness to himself, and paid for it regardless. He didn't pay for it. That was laziness. He should have, because the fact he didn't pay for it was illegal. He would have got fined. Even I would have been in trouble, you know, because if that happened on the railway, I would have gone in serious trouble, even with the police. Even so, what he did there was at risk. He risked losing his job. And he was doing a bad thing. He didn't even show any regret to it. So that's why there's another reason why I hate him. If I get served by him, I'm never saying thank you to him. Yeah, I think that leaves a lot off my chest. But I wanted to get it off because it's really been bugging me all day. And I think venting about it helps. But yeah, it sickens me that we have people in this world. I think this world needs improvement. Much better people. Right. I'm going to take a break, have a rest, and like chill. Not chill, but I'm gonna have a break, then have a rest, maybe listen to music and calm down. So yeah, I hope you all are doing okay, and I'll see you soon. And I'll see you soon. Hope you're doing well, and goodbye.